Hi everybody, my name is Suzanne Hiron from Memi Papyrus and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. This week's card is a shadow box card. It's a fancy fold, but much easier than you would expect. Let's get started. This week our card is a bit of a fancy fold. It's cased from the catalog and it opens up to reveal an opening with a background scene. So it looks fancy, but it's actually very easy to make. Let's get started. So I'm using the Whale of a Time suite of products that's in the annual catalog. So it includes this stamp set Whale Done bundled with a punch that is the Whale Punch, Builder Punch here. And it has really wonderful designer series paper that I took out of the package to show you a few of these images. They are so fun. If you like the sea and you like sea creatures, you will be happy with this designer series paper. So let's get started. Our card base is a little unusual. It is 5.5 by 8 instead of 8.25. 8.5, I mean. So you have this shorter area and the wider area. So we'll start with this. The other piece we need is 5.5 by 5.25. And it is scored at 1/2. I'll give you all the measurements on the website. So this is 4.25 and 4.75. So let's burnish our folds. I'll use my bone folder. Make sure they're nice and crisp. This is what is going to create the box on the inside of the card. So, like so. We need some designer series paper. This card is focused a lot on designer series paper. So we need 2 pieces, one for the background and one for the top of the window. So I'm going to center them. I'm going to center it between the score lines on this piece, and then we're going to cut out the hole. Now there's several colors in the designer series paper that you can see on the label. For this week's card, I chose Pool Party as the base and as the layer here. So now that we've got that done, we're going to add some tear and tape. That's what's going to create the box. So I'm going to add some on this side. And on this side. Then I'm going to take a 3-inch circle die and go create the window. I will be right back. All right, now we have the window. This piece you save because I'm going to use it for the top of the card. No waste. So we'll put it aside for now. So now that we have this part, we're going to layer our piece of designer series paper for the background of the window. And again, center it on the 4-inch part of your card. Don't do like I did. I did it the wrong way. I did it on the wider part and that does not work, trust me. So We're going to do a little bit of stamping now while we have our paper open. Let's stick the other pieces because we have other pieces for the inside of the card. And again, this is from the Designer Series paper, the same collection. I'm going to line it up here. This is a 5 1/4 by 1 1/2 inch. And this is a 5 1/4 by 2 1/2 inch. So this is the remaining part, the piece that we cut off from the 6 by 6 sheet of Designer Series paper. So they match. I'm going to just push it to touch the other so they're even. And now we have this nice background scene. So the stamp set has cute little fishes. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to take some Coral Calypso ink and stamp a few in my background. And I'll have them swimming the other way on this side. I want to leave room for my greeting up here. So I'll clean off this stamp. My greeting says, "Hoping all your birthday fishes come true." So I'm going to line it up, get some Coral Calypso ink, and make sure you stamp it to the left side because your frame might hide part of the fishes here. So I'll stamp it at the top, and that will leave you some room to sign your card. All right, so that's our stamping for now. What I also did is I used one of the sheets of Designer Series paper and I cut out some of the little whales. So we have one big one that is the size of the coordinating punch here. That's called the Whale Builder Punch. And we have some smaller whales that I'm going to adhere to the background. So I'm going to use my little glue dot for this guy. So he's going to be far in the distance here. And if you line up your frame, you make sure that you can see the whales that you're sticking in the background. And this one, I'm going to use some dimensionals to pop him up a bit. And he's going to be pretty much in the center here of my window. Now, if you wanted to get even fancier, you could add a window sheet behind this hole that we created. That would be really cool effect as well. Now we're going to take off the backing of the tear and tape. I'm going to use my take your pick tool for that. There. That tool makes my life so much easier. Let's line this up without getting my head in the camera. Make sure I'm straight. There we go. So there's your opening. Now you're going to lay it flat. Remove the backing of the tear and tape on this side. And you're going to fold the front of your card on top of it and give it a good press. You can actually press it even more with your bone folder, and now you have your frame. Isn't that cute? I love it. So to finish it off, we've got some more designer series paper. I kept it the same collection here, the same patterns, and used some contrasting strips of 1/2 inch by 5.5 inch. And we're going to just adhere these to the back with a bit of multi-purpose glue. So I've got my silicone mat here. Come on. There we go, just a little bit. And my silicone mat helps me to keep my space cleaner because nothing sticks to it. So I'm just going to adjust the paper here. Make sure I have the same width top to bottom. And do the other part with just a line of glue. There's no real up and down pattern to the contrasting piece of designer series paper, so it doesn't matter which side you glue it. And I'm going to come and center this on the top of my card. Again, I'm going to use the silicone mat. And this is the same 5.5, so it fits perfectly from top to bottom. So that's the top of my card. Now, on the inside, I forgot a piece. I forgot the star of the show, which is the bigger whale. And what I did is I took a piece of this designer series paper that has the whale patterns. I fussy cut the little guys, and the big one, I just took my punch and punched him out. And because he's going to be on the outside of the window, I want to strengthen him a little bit. So I punched out a layer of the pool party cardstock. And I'm just going to stick him on here. And on the inside, I want him to come into the window. So I just want the glue on the bottom part of his body. And we'll position him right about here. So they're kind of all lined up. Whoops. Stay put. There's my guy. All right. Now we're ready to do the greeting for the top of my card. Turn this around. So this is the part that I cut out earlier, and I punched out with the circle punch, 2.5 inch circle punch. I punched out a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I am going to use the greeting that says, "You're kind of a big deal." So I thought that was cute for celebrating a kid's birthday, or anybody's birthday actually. And I'm going to use Pretty Peacock because that is the coordinating color of the designer series paper that I used on those strips. So I'm going to ink him up, and I'm going to put it to the right of the circle, and I'll show you why in a minute. You're kind of a big deal. Clean this guy up. And in the stamp set, we have little water bubbles. So I'm going to take that stamp and just add a few bubbles. And I don't even need to re-ink it. There, so those. And to finish it off, I cut out a piece of Old Olive to coordinate. And this is from the Smooth Sailing dies. that are coordinated with another maritime theme stamp set. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to where it's going to be adhered on my circle, like this. Then I'm going to layer it on my pool party, which was the inside of the die cut, if you recall. So nothing's wasted. And I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. Bring in my card. I think I want it to the side. I don't want to have the green pop over the side of my card, the top of my card, so I'll just line them up to the side here. They're kind of a big deal. And to finish it off, I'm going to use a few little drop ornaments. They're little water drops. And put those on here where I had those little drops. So one here, one down here, and maybe one to the side right here. There you have it. There's my card. And when you open it up, we have the family of whales. You can sign your greeting right here. Isn't that fun? Well, I hope you enjoyed this card this week. And thanks for being with me. We'll see you again soon.